What's up, guys? It's the Disc Golf Chemist bringing you a review of my AGL discs Baobab. This is a putt and approach disc, very overstable and beefy, more overstable than a Zone, a Harp, a Pig, any of those. This thing is just super beefy, but it really flies great. I've been loving it, and I'm excited I switched to the Baobab from the Zone when I lost my Zone, because it's just kind of changed my approach forehand game and honestly helped a little bit on my distance on my backhand approach game. So you can see it's definitely different from a lot of discs. It has a very flat edge, very blunt, very kind of thick. The top has this kind of raised lip right at the edge. Not really super noticeable when you're throwing it. I kind of like it. It gives it kind of a nice little feeling on the edge that you get a little extra grip. Completely flat. You can see, oh gosh, there we go. Has that flat with just like a small little angle into it, and then very nice bottom. Not really much flashing that's sharp or anything. Feels really nice. They have the gateway bevel under, which doesn't affect me at all. Really love it. And yeah, so this thing flies super well. Crazy overstable. Definitely more overstable than my Zone, which I've been throwing for a really long time, and I absolutely love my Zones. But I'm finding that this thing is more enjoyable for me because it really limits how much I can throw. Sometimes if I powered up on a Zone too much, it just goes way past the target, where I know the glide on this is so low that it is not going past, and I can do a full rip and know exactly where it's going to land, and just trust that with my power and with how I throw it, it'll end up where I want it to end up, which is super nice. I am finding that I am getting way more consistent on my forehand approach game within 150, even 200. I can probably get this thing at 200 on a full flight, but anything like 150 and in, I'm absolutely loving this for short little pitch forehands. Even smaller, I was surprised that, I could do a little light flick of the wrist and it would fly perfectly how I wanted to. It'd sit down, doesn't like to roll. I think that's just the blunt edge and kind of like it is max weight. So it kind of hits and just falls, which is really nice. It's in their woodland plastic, which I'm a huge fan of. I really love all the different. I know there's some slight variants between, but just really, really smooth, grippy, but not like, not overly grippy, smooth. I already said that. It's not crazy durable. You can see I used it in one round, and there's some there, hit a couple other spots, but I really like when my discs get beat in. To me, they feel more enjoyable in the hand when the plastic's a little beat in. And, if it gets really bad, I'll just kind of sand down the sharp edges and it'll go away. It'll feel just like normal for me. But yeah, this thing is just absolutely great. You can throw it on backhands. It's gonna dump down. Like it's not gonna hold the hyzer. No, it's gonna come on this angle and just end up hitting the ground and falling. Same thing with forehands. You can throw it up. You can get some really cool flex forehands if you put it on like a really sharp angle. It'll come pretty much instantly fight out and then fade hard to the right, which gives some nice shots that really a lot of times you can't get with many other discs unless you throw something like really overstable that's really high speed, because it'll just want to fight. So you get a lot more control out of this than something like, like a Firebird or something, because it's a slower disc and it'll fly more true every time when you're throwing it slower, where, a Firebird, if you put a little less spin, it's going to drastically change how much that thing is overstable with the slow speed. But yeah, this thing is just absolutely crazy. You can honestly throw grenades. It's kind of, I've heard them talk about like the tilt like this, where you can throw the tilt just like over the top on just a backhand hyzer, and because it's so overstable, it just comes straight down like a grenade would. And I found that you can do the same thing almost with this, just, you can't go as high, but you can throw it on a really steep hyzer and it'll come down and almost vertical and just hit. And which is super useful for me. I never could figure out the grenade. I never could get power. I never could do anything with the grenade. So if I have to go over like some short trees, I can rely on this thing and just throw it nice backhand hyzer, let it bounce over and sit right next to the basket, or, wherever I aim it. If you haven't tried the Baobab, I definitely would recommend giving it a shot. Feels a little weird in hand, definitely a little beefy, but, just give it a chance and I think you'll fall in love with it. I really liked it in my forehand. I like that there's the little lip right here that really sits in your hand, and you can feel that it's like holding your thumb in place and not like the disc isn't like slipping down when you get a good little grip on it. I really like it. I I have trouble with forehand. I feel like it slips out of the like meat for me a lot. It kind of like wants to slide down. And with this, it really pinches hard right there. And I get a really good release. I get a really good grip. I feel like I'm really confident with this, and it's just kind of changed my game completely. I'll put in a couple clips of me throwing it so you guys can see. But yeah, I think you can do almost anything you want with the Baobab, knowing it's an overstable disc. It comes in a lot of sick colors, a lot of sick stamps. I'm absolutely loving the AGL's Big Tree. If you haven't, if you haven't thrown much AGL, check out their Big Tree stamps because they are so sick, really simplistic, really cool. But yeah, the AGL Baobab, great disc, super overstable. You got to pick it up. Peace.